beautiful human. Right now, I'm averaging about one new client every 40 hours. And this trend has been happening for the last kind of 12 to 16 weeks. And I want to walk you through how I'm doing it 100% automated, no calls, no time in the DMs. And I just did the numbers and I'm spending $150 to acquire a client. And so there's about a 40x ROI on the low end. And if people choose my higher tier of coaching, it is 150x ROI, which is crazy. I'm not saying I'm this mythical master who's figured it all out, but I just don't really see people running funnels like this that work this damn good with such low stress and with ease. And so I'm going to walk you through the entire funnel from start to finish. I'm also going to share, more importantly, the 4 reasons I think this funnel works. Because I'm telling you right now, I could tell you exactly what to do. And if you were to do it without understanding the mechanics of why it works, you can copy and paste it, but the results will not be the same. And at the end of the video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how to test drive this funnel so you can see it in action for yourself. So right now, I'm in beautiful Bangkok in Thailand. And it's hot as hell out here, but I'm still trying to get my steps in. And I was out on a walk yesterday and I was reflecting on how different business feels today versus just a few short years ago. I remember in 2020, I was in the depth of scaling to 100K a month. I think we hit it in February 2020, and that was requiring me being on sales calls a heck of a lot. And I didn't like sales calls, but I did like getting clients. And so that was the necessary evil that I did in order to make that money that I wanted to make and roll the clients that I wanted to work with. But it got to a point at the end of 2020 where literally I would have what most people would consider a good thing, which is a sales call being booked. And I would just see that come in and just drop an F-bomb and be like, dude, I just can't believe I have to do this. This sucks. I wonder if there's another way. And of course, I did what most people do, which is at that point, you then hire a closer and build a sales team. And I'm just telling you, 2 years of that, dude, building a sales team absolutely sucks. So again, I asked myself the question, is there a better way? And this is when I learned how to sell high ticket in the DMs. But in the beginning, it was a lot of selling, right? A lot of typing, voice notes, dealing with objections. And that was better than sales calls, but it still was really time intensive. And over the last 6 months, I've managed to refine it to where sales is 100% automated. There's no Dan in the DMs. There's no one pretending to be me. There's no crazy complicated funnel. And so let me walk you through exactly what it looks like. Now, there's going to be no drawing. I don't need to show you the funnel flow. You're going to understand it very simply. And it's built on this idea and this framework that I learned from a good friend and mentor of mine, Alex Sharfin. He says there's 5 core functions of business. We're going to focus on the first 3. But the 5 are lead generation, lead nurture, conversion, delivery, retention, resell, and upsell. So we're going to focus on generation, nurture, and conversion. So in your business, you need a way to generate leads. There's lots of different platforms, and on each platform, there's a different way to do it. For most of my career online, I focused on Facebook, and the Facebook lead generation strategy is so damn simple. You go into groups of ideal clients, you add people. Of the people you send requests to, some of them like add you back, and then you grow your audience that way. And that worked really, really well. But over the last 18 months, I really started to see this trend of how easy it was to run paid ads on Instagram. And so I pivoted everything I do to Instagram about 12 to 18 months ago. So this is the traffic strategy of how I make up to 30 to 50 new leads every single day. I run follower ads. Now, you might have heard this before, and you might be thinking you already know what this looks like. You run an ad and you say, hey, if you're a coach, if you're a plumber, if you're a whatever, you should follow me. And those ads don't convert nearly as well as they used to because everyone is running those damn ads. My strategy is different. I try to run ads that do not feel like ads. So what I do is I create content for my newsfeed. Okay, very important. That's a mix of carousels. It's a mix of reels, but it is never created with the intent of being an ad. It is simply created for the sake of like nurturing my audience, right? But we'll come back to this. So I'm creating the carousel that I think will add value, shift beliefs, speak to my ideal client. I'll create the reel, same deal. Of the ones that I see get some kind of traction that I feel like, this is the key thing, differentiate me in some way, I boost them, okay? The differentiation is really important because if I am running an ad that is going to make me sound like everybody else, I'm going to either get low quality followers or I'm going to get no new followers, which means no new leads, which means funnel breaks. So I'm looking for the type of content that feels different, that feels like it gives me a unique edge, a unique advantage that's maybe built around my story, my experiences, my unique convictions, my unique business model. And then I boost that. Now, in Facebook's boosting, you can literally optimize for certain things. You can optimize for link clicks, but I optimize for profile visits. Now, this is so damn simple, but I'm telling you, when you do it well, it crushes. So we take 2 to 3 of these posts and then we boost them, optimizing for profile visits. Now, again, I do not make this look like an ad. I do not have a CTA in the caption. I assume my audience is smart. If they like the content, they might check out my profile. And if they check out my profile, they might want to follow me. And that's exactly what happens. And so then I'm able to spend $2 to $3 to get a follower onto my newsfeed, onto my profile, following along on the journey. Now, of course, that's the start of the journey, not the end of the journey. But this is how I get leads every single day into this super simple funnel. The second step, you might remember, is lead nurture. So what's really, really important to understand about lead nurture is we think often that lead nurture is about the length of time someone follows you. In order to nurture you, they need to follow you for 3 weeks, 3 months, 300 days, whatever made up thing we make up. That it's not true, right? It's really about content consumed. There's 2 aspects to this: the amount of content consumed and the depth of the content they consume. If they watch 100 of your short form reels, they are probably not going to be ready to jump in, buy, start a sales conversation, because the depth of that content is shallow. So the primary mechanism that I'm focused on when people follow me on Instagram is I want them to watch what I call my mini VSL, my mini video sales letter. My current one is 18 minutes. My previous one to that was 25. This is not a 90-minute masterclass. This is the overall who is Dan? What's his story? How did he get here? What's the new opportunity or unique mechanism that he's talking about? And then inviting people to reach out if they want support implementing the system and the strategy that I talked about. It's so simple, but when you do it well, it works so damn well. And so when people come into my world, this is the recurring thing that I promote over and over again. It's the link in my bio. It's promoted on my stories multiple times a week. We run retargeting ads for followers to this mini VSL. Now, of course, not everyone is ready to watch the mini VSL. Maybe the headline's wrong. It's not the right hook. Maybe they're just busy today, or they watch it and then are ready to reach out, which is where the rest of the content ecosystem comes into play. I continue to post on my newsfeed and my stories, sharing belief shifting content. And I also post on YouTube videos like this, right? So again, it's capturing people who might have not watched the VSL before, to then they go, okay, right, it's time for me to watch that. Or they have watched it, but they were busy or not ready to reach out and start a conversation. That is pillar number 2, the lead nurture strategy. Pillar number 3 is the conversion, the sales process, and the system. This is where it's very, very simple for me. People DM me a key word, and then it triggers a mini chat automation. And basically it delivers a document that replaces a sales call, and it breaks down exactly what it looks like to work with me, why you would consider it, who it's for. And literally at the bottom of the document is a link to sign up. Now, you could replicate this today. You could go, cool, follower ad strategy, mini VSL. I'm just going to throw together a document. And chances are it's not going to work nearly as well as what's taken me months and months and months to refine. And that's where we get into the 4 key things here. I'm just going to fire through them. But I'm telling you right now, if you stick around to the end, you're really going to start to understand why all of my funnels seem to do so well. Because I'm not a one-trick pony. This is not my first 5 minutes in business. I've been enrolling clients like this for years. When I first launched my community in the way that it is now in June of 2023, I enrolled 35 clients in 25 days, right? Previous to that, I enrolled 30 clients into a one-to-one offer in 82 days, got to $95,000 a month in profit. I'm saying that to give credibility to what I'm about to say. Number 1, my funnel is designed to be a journey of easy yeses. This is very key. No matter where your funnel is, what platform you use, what offer you have to sell, most people optimize for 1 big yes. So we have a reel, we have some content, whatever it is, and then we go, cool, book a call, book a call, book a call, right? And everyone knows that a call is a code name for an audition to see whether you have the money and are the right fit to join the program. It's a very big yes. It's going from some free content to this one big yes of thousands of dollars. Everything got easier for me when I simplified the journey down to what is the most easy invitation that I could make for them based on this stage of the journey. It's why I don't run ads to my VSL directly, because the ask is so substantial. Hey, we've never met each other. Please give me 18 minutes of your time, 25 minutes of your time, 40 minutes of your time. It's a hard ask, right? Which is why the cost to get people to go through that is so high. But when you boost content, that's an easy yes for people to go, okay, this guy sounds interesting. Visit profile, cool. This looks great. Follow along, right? No commitment, very little, right? And that's why it's such an easiest to start with. And then going from following me to then consuming some more of my content, which oftentimes is not just going to the VSL first. It's maybe checking out a carousel, checking out a story, watching a reel, and people go through this journey. At this point, I'm not asking people to message me in a circle. I'm not telling people to find out what it looks like to work with me. I'm trying to get them to consume more content. The journey of easy yeses. Once they have consumed enough content, and specifically the mini VSL, then I invite them to reach out to have a sales conversation. When you think about your funnel, if you were to engineer it through the lens of how do I make everything simpler to ask the right, like give the right invitation at the right stage, people will move through easier. There's less friction. The relational dynamic of this, or the relational metaphor, is you walk up to someone at a bar and you say, hey, would you like to get married? Well, if you ask enough people, you might actually get someone to say yes, someone crazy enough to take that leap. But for most people, that is going to be a hard no. But what you might say is, hey, can I buy you a drink, right? This is so elementary, but I'm trying to get you to understand how most of us market so wrong and why no one wants to buy our stuff. It's because we're trying to skip all of these necessary steps of relationship building. So number one, I optimize for the journey of easy yeses. Number two, everything I create is designed with one type of person in mind. I have immense clarity around my dream client. Now, this wasn't always the case. For a long time, probably like you, there was a time in my business where a dream client was anyone with a heartbeat and a credit card, right? So anyone who was like willing to pay me money, I was like, please give me money. Let's work together. This is going to be amazing. I'm going to change your life. Even though they might not be the right fit, they're stressed out already. So their stress is going to become my stress. They sound about as fun to work with as swimming in a pool of sharks, right? We have to get clear on the dream client. And so for me, everything is created for a previous version of myself. Now, in 2021, for those of you who don't know my story, I had a 347,000 cash month. I had a team of 13. I was getting the accolades and the awards and becoming friends with all these industry leaders. And on the flip side, I was disconnected from my family, gaining weight rapidly, borderline alcoholic. And so the version of myself that I'm marketing to, the previous version of myself, is not necessarily all of those things, tick box, tick box, tick box. But what I am doing is I'm trying to capture that version of me who was currently putting business first instead of my life, who was looking for a simpler way to make money, but also have freedom, who was not wanting to sacrifice the things that were most important in life to the temporary business goals, trying to hit the next best month of revenue. So when I create content, I'm crystal clear on who I'm creating it for, which means I know what stories to share. I know what values I'm trying to connect with. I know what beliefs I'm trying to shift. Everything got easier for me when I no longer saw my group of people I was trying to reach as a niche, right? I'm trying to reach coaches. I'm trying to reach agency owners. No. Everything got clearer and I focused on people's core identity. Who are they? Who are they trying to become? What beliefs do they have? What's their psychographic, not just their demographic? That is the second reason why my funnels work so well. And for you going through my content, some of you might go, this doesn't resonate. So many of you have already clicked off this video, right? But the point is that there is a percentage of people that I know will go through all the way to the end because they resonate with what I'm saying. And that is the point. And it all starts with crystal clear clarity, not just are they in this niche? Do they make this much money? How long have they been in? How big's their team? That's the basics that haven't worked for a long time. What we're looking for is beliefs, values, shared convictions, a shared core identity. So when you speak, people listen. This is about transitioning not into megaphone marketing, but into being a dog whistle, speaking the right kind of frequency that is only heard by a certain group of people. Number three, I was meeting someone in Bali the other day for coffee. And as I was walking into the coffee shop, someone came up to me and I kind of had a micro celebrity moment, which can happen in Bali because it's such a tight knit nomad, like digital hub. And some came up to me and they said, "Are you Dan Bolton?" And I was like, "Oh my God, here we go, sign an autograph." Not really. But I was like, "Yeah, I am." And he's like, "Oh, I'm a YouTube like expert strategist or something like that. And I teach your YouTube strategy to my clients." And I was like, "Oh, dude, that's amazing and also really funny. I don't think I have a YouTube strategy really." And he's like, "No, no, that's the whole point. The whole point is that authenticity is your strategy, that you just show up, you are yourself, right? You share the quirks and the stories and the experiences, and it's really just you, not trying to be anyone else. And that's why it works so well." And I was like, "Okay, like that makes sense for me. That is definitely what I'm doing. That is the strategy, if you could call it that." And the third thing that makes this whole funnel work so well is that authenticity is my funnel. So connected to this idea of clarity of who I'm trying to reach, I am not trying to be anyone else other than me, which means that because people are buying access to me and community, they're buying access to my insights, my coaching, my content, and proximity is the real offer, and I'm the business. My job is to get people to vibe with me, and they either are attracted in or they are repelled. Either way, my job is done, which is why getting people to consume content, specifically long form content, before they get to a purchasing decision, before they get to a sales conversation, is so key. And this all shifted for me at the start of 2023 when I finally launched a YouTube channel. Now, you might look around at this video and the amount of views and the amount of subscribers that I have and go like, "Dude, I don't know how you're making any money from this." And I agree. I don't know how it's working either. But what seems to be working is that the more content someone consumes from me, right, they lean in more. Now, of course, it's not for everyone. And that's the point. The point is authenticity being the funnel means that some people are going to be turned off. Some people are going to click away. Some bro scalers are going to look at my content and be like, "Brother, this guy needs to get some biceps and a B next to his name, like a billion," right? And that's not who I am. And that's not who I'm trying to attract. And for you, once you get clear on this dream client, the goal is to be yourself on camera or in writing. So when people consume your content, they go, "This is my guy. This is my girl." There's a deep sense of one of the most important words of marketing: resonance. People can feel, man, there's something about this person when they speak, I listen. What they're saying makes sense to me. And then the natural conclusion is, how do we get closer to them? So that's the third piece, is that authenticity is the funnel. And the fourth piece is what I'm really passionate about, which is that I love being strategically lazy. I do not want to work harder than I need to work. And so I create systems for everything. So what this has looked like over the years has changed depending on the tools, the automations, AI, and things like that are available to us. So back in the day when I first started this 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, literally people would watch a video and then message me on Facebook, and there were no automation set up. So I would have to manually message them back, but I would create scripts and then I'd create keyboard shortcuts to speed up the process to reply and have the conversation so I could move through more leads faster. Then I went to Instagram and discovered ManyChat. This is what has allowed me to, and with all of these principles combined, systemize it so I don't have to spend any time worrying about or thinking about getting clients. It is automated, but it's automated because I built the systems that actually support the whole funnel. So when someone messages roadmap or training or something like that on Instagram, it sends them the mini VSL, but ManyChat will then ask them for their email. And alongside giving them the link directly to the VSL itself, it will also set up email responders. Now they're in an email sequence that's going to, number one, encourage them to consume the video that it's asked for. And number two, if they enjoyed the video, if it resonated with them, to reach out about Inner Circle, which is my core community and my core offer. Once people reach out about Inner Circle, there is the ManyChat side of the systems and there is the email side of the systems. Both of those work in tandem. The thing I'm really trying to challenge you to think about here and why it's worked so well for me is because this has been incredibly scalable because it's systemized. I do not have to hustle harder to get clients. I simply need to get more of the right people through the funnel. And when I'm able to do that, the system supports the scale, which is why I've been able to take the system from one client a week to two clients a week to 4, 5, 6 clients a week. So I don't know what part of this stands out to you as the thing you might need to focus on. You're more than welcome to copy and paste the strategy and see if it works for you. But these 4 things have proven time and time again to be the most important when I've implemented any funnel on Facebook, on Instagram, when we teach clients LinkedIn, all of those things. LinkedIn's a joke. I hate LinkedIn. But when we teach clients to implement this in their platform, these funnels work not because of our tool, not because of our hack, but because of the overall principles that guide them. So the thing I want to invite you to do right now is, if you want to test out this funnel, go find me on Instagram. I'm at Bolton, Bolton, and you can DM me either one of 2 words. One, roadmap. If you DM me roadmap, you will see the VSL automations so that you can actually see firsthand what this looks like in practice. And if you want to see what the sales conversation, the conversion piece looks like, DM me Inner Circle on Instagram. You're not going to be like manipulated into buying anything or anything like that. You're going to see that it's like very, very chill. But if you actually want to see how this works and why this might work for you, just DM me one of those keywords. But I'm hoping this video has been helpful. I'm sending you a ton of love from beautiful Bangkok. Talk soon and hope you have an amazing day.